everyone, welcome to my Pick a Key to Unlock a Past Life reading. This is your girl Mermaid Scales Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me here. This is a general reading, and in regards to this reading, I want to tune into the Akashic records and unlock a past life that you have experienced during any incarnation here on this earth. Now, this doesn't have to be your last past life. This could be any past life, but I'm asking for the past life to come through for you that you need to know about. You need to know what you experienced in that past life. You need to know of what happened there, so it could hopefully give you some answers as to why you may be experiencing certain events, certain situations, certain blueprints that you were given this life. I'm going to see what the events were. I'm going to ask what your soul plan was in this lifetime and whether you carried that plan out or not, and see if there's any karmic debts that may have come from that past life that may be affecting you in this current life. So this is a general reading. Everything may not resonate with you, but you'll know if it's for you if you feel the message in your heart chakra, solar plexus, or sacral chakra. You'll know that this is for you. So as you saw in the thumbnail, there are 3 keys that you could choose from. Before I get into the readings, I do just want to do a quick meditation so we could all set the energy for any message to come through. If you have any beings of the light that you would like to welcome into this space, specific angels, ancestors, spirit guides, deities, even passed down loved ones, you are welcome to do so now. So if you want to go ahead and skip to your key, go ahead and look at the comments and you'll see the pinned comment that I'll have that will give you the timestamps to those keys. But if you would like to join me for this meditation, let's go ahead and dive right into it. So I will be using my sound bowl to clear and set the energy, and I will be ringing the sound bowl 3 times for each key. And during this meditation, I just want you to close your eyes, leave them open, whatever feels comfortable for you, but really just with every deep breath you make, ask any questions, anything that you want to clarify about certain feelings you've had about a past life, any messages you need to know about that will help you understand yourself, your soul plan better. Just anything that you kind of just want to set the energy for. With every breath, breathe in love and light. Any out breath, breathe in anything that you're nervous about, stressed about. Let it all go away so you could be prepared to listen to this reading in the highest vibration. So let's go ahead and get this started, and I hope you enjoy this meditation with me. Awesome. So thank you for joining me with that meditation. Go ahead and select your timestamp below in the comments and we'll go ahead and get started with your reading. Hello to those of you who selected key number 1. This is your reading, and I'll put your key right here so it could be on the altar as I read the cards. So let's start off by seeing what your soul purpose is. I mean, I'm going to ask for this past life specifically, but honestly with this deck, with this pull, I feel this is your soul purpose throughout any incarnation that you really will have on this earth. And it's just a part of your print, it's a part of who you are. But let's see what your soul purpose was and see if you did achieve it or have a huge significant accomplishment with this soul purpose in your past life. Were you able to express it? Were you able to live the purpose that you were meant to have, or was there something that stopped it? Let's see. What is key 1 soul purpose, Spirit? Okay, the Messenger. Wow. With all this green energy, looks like this woman was sitting under a tree meditating. You are a very spiritual person, psychic person, magical person. You've had this gift. It's been in your blueprint, it's been in your DNA, and you have had this ability to be a psychic, to be a medium, to be a vessel for spirit throughout all your lifetimes. But specifically with the messenger, your purpose is to deliver these messages to humanity, to the collective. It does feel like your purpose always has been to be a light worker, to be that vessel and that bridge between heaven and earth, no matter what time period, no matter what, you've been through. That has always been the purpose you've had. And it says the planet Mercury right under it. So this is Gemini energy, Virgo energy. You may have these signs in your chart. Could have been this sign in this past lifetime. Doesn't have to be the case. Specifically look at your South Node and see if there's any Gemini, Virgo, or Mercury energy around the South Node. But let's go ahead and see what the card has to say. I bring the light of awareness. Perceptive, progressive, intelligent, adaptable, changeable, psychic, versatile, candid, agile, communicative, insightful, imaginative, curious, and instinctive. Yeah, so for this pile, specifically with this past life that I'm starting to get a taste of, to get a dip in, you aren't the person that is super ambitious to have power, to have money, to climb this ladder, to play a Game of Thrones type of thing. You were just someone that experienced life with hope, with curiosity, with this type B type of personality that was very laid back. You were magnetic, definitely. People saw you as this wisdom, as this person who has a lot to say but doesn't need to be the center of the room, doesn't have to command the attention of everyone, but you attracted this, I almost am hearing like a following of people that saw your energy, felt your energy as this wise, silent, noble person that I feel people looked up to even more than their kings and their queens and the presidents. And you really were the person that people sought out to for help, almost as like a medicine woman, a shaman, the town, like the consult for spiritual type of energy. People went to you for advice. People went to you for asking what they need to do if you had any guidance from the other realm. You were someone that taught a lot of people the ways of spirit, the ways of tuning in to spirit for guidance, more than the church, more than, the monarchs that ruled at that time. And again, it's like this silent strength you had that I feel a lot of people look to you. It's almost like the people's choice you were. I feel some of you could have been writers in this life, or even at the very least you held like certain speeches for groups of people. But again, it doesn't feel like you were a politician. It doesn't feel like you were a member of the church that had, this power. It just feels like maybe this was a time before the church kind of started, but you just had this following of people because you had these psychic gifts, you had these abilities. So very, very interesting. You may have a resonance with birds. You may find feathers all the time. Birds were your totem animal. You worked with like ravens, with hawks, with crows, and maybe they still even follow you into this lifetime. So let's see with these cards here. I'm going to kind of see the background of this past life. So let's kind of see what more specifically you were, other than what I kind of carried with that card. What were you given? What did you have to go through? What time period was this past life in? Let's see. Okay, so one card we have, transportation with the train. Interesting. So yeah, you moved around a lot. And maybe again, it was because you couldn't stay somewhere for so long. I'm almost getting the fact too that I'm almost hearing like Robin Hood type of thing, where you were more for the people and you spoke the truth. That was not, no criticisms towards the church. I'm not here to judge, but it almost felt like during a period of time, people used the church more for power and influence and control, whereas you gave the message from Spirit that people needed to hear to uplift them, to see the truth behind certain political agendas that were going on. And with the train here, this could have been the industrial era, the 1800s even. And with that, it's almost as if you may have started calling out, you know, how wrong industrialization was. You were definitely the truth teller, and that's why you had to go from town to town, place to place. It didn't feel like you went through multiple different countries. Maybe you kind of hopped around different parts of your country, different villages, different towns, different cities. But I definitely feel the people knew who you were, the common people. So you're definitely, I feel like, on the run a lot. And maybe even in this lifetime, you find yourself to always wanting to change where you are living, never wanting to stay somewhere for too long, a traveler. And maybe that's kind of been hard for you, especially with this current pandemic going on, that you haven't been able to travel. You're definitely a free spirit. Absolutely. And you're guided by your intuition. You're guided by Spirit. You don't like to be told what to do. And the second someone tells you that you have to do something, you're like, bye. I'll just go on to the next. Interesting. Let's keep going. I'm going to pull 3 cards. Tell me more. Knighthood. Okay, so for some of you, it's almost as if, this is interesting, I'm kind of picking up on this. You may have been sworn at first to, you know, fight for your country, to be part of some sort of community. But when you started to see, you know, the onion shed, where it was more about politics, it was more about power, it wasn't really about Spirit. Maybe some of you went AWOL. You know, you kind of escaped from being in the military, you escaped from being a part of the church, part of some sort of power thing, and that's when you kind of, that was like the first keyhole into seeing the truth of what the agenda that was really going on, because you did, in the very beginning, have sort of taste of what was really happening. But also for others of you too, it almost feels like the knights were chasing you, the police were chasing you, those in power sent out other people to find you, like you had a bounty on your head. And it was, again, nothing out of like illegal criminal things, it was because you were spreading the word. Wow. Interesting. Let's keep going. And as this is general, different messages will come out as I try to cover everyone who's been watching this, but very interesting. Can I get one more card? And you do fight for what you believe in. And you did back then. You know, you were not going to back down. That was what Spirit did not want you to do. And then farm. Interesting. So yeah, I mean, I feel, again, the common people, those were your people. Those were the people that you didn't want to see being controlled. You didn't want to see being misled into certain wars, being recruited for under the name of God or under the name of their country or whatever. And it was just really things that, they were just pawns, you kind of felt. And that hurt you, because you once upon a time believed, when you were either sworn in or whatever, that, you know, the higher ups were really looking out. But Spirit showed you, you know, it's not about power and control. To be a true person of Spirit, it's about linking everyone. We all come from the same source. We all come from the same life universe that has granted us here today, in every frequency and every vibration on every planet. I do feel if you were bouncing, you went to different farms, people would, you know, it's kind of like when they knew you were coming, they would set up a cot for you to stay. They'd give you food, and they would hide you from, you know, authorities that would try to be searching for you. But you definitely were the people's choice. You definitely may have come from not such noble house. You came maybe from hardworking people. And then you saw that, like, what they were doing to your people, the people who were working every day to keep the economy going, to get the country fed, and that they still just didn't, you know, the higher ups, whoever they were, still just didn't care. So you are definitely the person that fights for the oppressed. You fight for the people that didn't have privilege, that didn't have the money to bribe anything to go their way. And you spoke a lot of truth. I almost kind of feel too, you know, like if there was a religious crusade going on during this time period you were in, you were the person to still hold those like small councils to really speak the spirit, the religion, the practice that you still felt so connected to. And that could have been also why you were on the run as well. Wow. A rebellious, free spirit I'm getting, who speaks their truth, who wants the truth to be shared, and that was your purpose. I wonder if you did get caught, though. Interesting. Okay, so let's see what gifts you kind of had, what rewards you kind of brought into this world, what you were gifted in, what blessings may have occurred in this life. Let's see. For most of you, it definitely feels like either 1700s, 1800s I'm kind of picking up on, especially with transportation with the train and the farm. Like maybe it was the turning tide of like the Industrial Revolution for some of you. Okay, there we go. Organization, yeah, wow. So it says, purpose, planning, efficiency now come to me so easily with number 42. So again, like 1742, 1842 could have been a prominent year for you guys, or 42 is a number that resonates with you guys to some extent. It doesn't have to be. Yeah, you know what? It's like you led this organization of rebellion, of people who wanted to know the truth. You really resonated in their heart chakras, the words you said. And that's why they followed you. It wasn't because of your you know, noble class. It wasn't because of your power. It was because you spoke the truth and it resonated to so many people. It opened up their eyes. And some of you, again, could have led this like underground revolution. Interesting. So you did have the gift to organize, you know, certain plans, to stick it to the higher ups, to people who were overworking, who were paying people crap, you know, child labor, slavery, whatever it was, you were the person to stand up against it and to side with the majority. It's almost as if you wanted to tell everyone, like, we can work together. Numbers, if we come together, we can beat the minority, the 1%. You were really inspiring. You were really inspiring. You were really magnetic. And again, it was a silent type of thing. And you may have not have been the person who had to, you know, go publicly on tour to practice or speak your beliefs and stuff. But you were definitely someone that, if they know who you were, they came to that certain hut, they came to that certain warehouse, knocked 3 times. I know that you're part of the meeting, and they like went to go see you speak. But it was very cloak and dagger. Interesting. You definitely held some sort of power in your own right. You had the power to influence, the power to inspire. And what's the amazing thing about it is that it was to empower themselves. It was to empower the masses. It was to empower the people that were being impressed. It wasn't for you. It wasn't for your rise. You sacrificed a lot to do this as well. You sacrificed, you know, being able to have a stable home. Maybe you weren't able to have a family. It was very focused on the cause. I do see or feel that people were in love with you. You had a lot of admirers, but it's like you couldn't just stick with that one person to settle down with. But yeah, I definitely feel there's multiple people who had their eyes on you romantically. Wow. Okay, so with the tarot, I'm going to see the events of the beginning of your life, towards the middle of your life, and then the end of your life, possibly to see like how it may have ended, how you passed on perhaps. But whatever Spirit wants to bring forth, Spirit shall say. So tell me about the 3 themes of key number 1's life, Spirit. Okay, yeah. I'll tell you all the cards in just 1 second. Let me just bring them out. Middle of their life, Spirit. Wow. Okay, so this is very interesting because this is definitely correlating with this, the Messenger card. So you have the Hermit. Virgo energy, very strong again, coming through. May mean something to someone, doesn't have to, but solitude. Wow, so I wonder if, you know, in the beginning of your life, for some of you, I kind of pick up that you were an orphan, that your parents died in some, you know, I'm hearing a fire for someone. So if someone has like a fear of fire, that may resonate, okay? But, you know, through whatever means, starvation, war, right? I do feel that you lost that family, and maybe that's why going further into your life, you never settled down, whether that's because you couldn't because of the organization you were leading, or even so, like family kind of stirs up a lot. Even now, I don't know if some of you have difficult family situations, or if yourself you're adopted, and may have carried on in this lifetime from what you've experienced before. But if you were like an orphan, or maybe you were sent off to kind of do it learning, especially for those of you that I kind of picked up on where you had your own religion, or your own spirituality, your own practice, like maybe part of that practice was to be in meditation, to be in solitude, to contemplate, to connect with Spirit, to connect with God, to connect with the universe, whatever you want to call it. But you were a lone wolf. From, you know, childhood to early 20s. I feel that, again, this is the root of when you did not believe in the 1% trying to project rules, regulations, you know, conforming people into new religions and beliefs. You were never trusted that. You always kind of stuck with your own beliefs of what you knew. Again, through your natural connection with Spirit, through your natural psychic gifts, your abilities to be a medium. But, you know, you're an old, wise soul. I feel, honestly, you've reincarnated onto this earth for a very, very long time. This is just one of the lives I'm picking up on. But this is not your first rodeo, that's for sure. You have definitely been the one to have this mission of always speaking the truth of what you experience, but also what Spirit tells you to share or calls you to do. You've always had that, and it hasn't always been a popular thing. What you've been called to do, what you've been called to say, preach, speak. You know, you are someone who isn't afraid to do it alone. What I mean by that, you know, career-wise, you make your own choices. Again, you're not someone to be told what to do. In relationships, you are very independent. And this is how you were in your early life from this lifetime. I do see a lot of reading, a lot of books. You were educated, definitely. Whether, you know, you were educated from a teacher or someone at an orphanage or through a mentor, you definitely knew how to read and write. And I think that was another thing that made you so organized, or made people listen to you, even out of the common. You had that advantage of education. Maybe even some of you taught yourself how to do it. You're very resourceful. And maybe even in this lifetime, from that past gift, you teach yourself to do a lot of things. In the middle of your life, mental conflict, Two of Swords, Libra energy. May mean something. Yeah, so I feel this is going on top of knighthood. So for sure, like if some of you then decided, okay, you know what, I'll sign up with the local police force, military, and see what's up. You saw all the corruption going on. Or even so, like where some of you started to, if you didn't sign up with that type of militia, but you started to see that something wasn't right. Even if everyone was starting to follow these rules, starting to conform, you knew something was wrong. You knew the truth wasn't being spoken. You knew that, especially if you saw like, you know, public burnings of women, you know, just very cruel punishments that were put on in the town, you knew from your gut, from your knowledge, from Spirit's connection, that what they were doing was not of Spirit, it was of power and control. And I almost feel like some of you, you know, you were really waking up. You took that red pill, that blue pill, I don't know what in the Matrix it was, and this is the moment you knew something had to change, or you had to bring forth the truth. So it feels like late 20s, early 30s, maybe late 30s that you started to recognize this. And then towards the end of your life, you had the Sun. So this was success. I don't feel that you guys, you know, had a betrayal, had, you know, someone finally rat on you and everything kind of fell apart. I think people believed in you so much that they wanted to keep you safe. They wanted to keep your word open. And it's almost as if like the higher ups, the nobility, whoever, was never able to fully catch you. You were always moving on to the next. You were smart with avoiding these types of people that just wanted to silence you, that probably wanted to hang you in public or do whatever horrible thing so no one would follow your word. But I just feel they weren't successful. And you did have a name. Absolutely. You had a name for the people knew you. Maybe they called you a different name so you wouldn't get caught. But you were very successful. You brought a lot of enlightenment to a lot of people. Sun energy, Leo energy. And again, in this way, it wasn't a leader as if a king or a queen. It was like a revolutionary, an inspirer. You were known. You were definitely well known on the undo. But even like the people, the nobility that would just, you know, get so irked that you were still going on, they knew your fake name. They knew your alias, let's just say. Wow. Okay, so let's go ahead and use the tea leaf cards and see if there was any other specific events that happened that, you know, we need to pick up on for this lifetime to get part of your story that affected you, affected the way you lived. Okay, clouds. Temporary problems. Yeah, I could see that. There were definitely certain problems. Maybe there were close calls of getting caught, close calls to being betrayed, certain things like that. Bat, take care, enemies are working against you. Yeah, people were not happy. You were this well known. You were this influential. You definitely had enemies. But temporary problems, they weren't really anything that, there was nothing they could do to hold you down. There was nothing they could do to finally catch you. Partially because of your own intelligence, your own resourcefulness, but also so many people believed you, they had your back, not theirs. Bats may have some sort of resonance to you in this lifetime. Let's keep going. Okay. Bread. Period of prosperity and abundance. Yeah, so again, you were always fed. You were always taken care of. The bread and salt that I see, or the flour that's in this picture, people always welcomed you into their home that believed in you, believed in your cause. People respected you. Not your enemies, but the majority of people that you influence, they would always make room for you. They always had a meal prepared for you. And that was the abundance. It wasn't so much, again, gold, whatever currency was used back in the 1700s. Maybe it was printed money. I'm not 100% sure. But, you know, it was through the service you gave, what the service was returned to you. You were always fed. You were always taken care of. You were always watched out for. You had that loyalty. Wow. And then bull. Yeah. Wow. And so with this bull, you could have been a Taurus, or Taurus energy kind of comes through in your chart this lifetime around, maybe South Node. And it says, do not back down from opposition, show strength and fortitude. So honestly, I'm already getting like, however you may have passed on, I feel you probably did it of old age. I wonder if I were to Google like this type of energy, what I would find. You know, see if there were, because I definitely do feel you were infamous. You left with a legacy. You know, people would shout your name when they were still fighting for your cause, even after you passed away. You know, you were this force of opposition that people wanted to see. You didn't back down. You didn't, you know, just give up. You still fought every step of your way until you did pass on. And I do feel even in this lifetime, you still have that stubbornness, and not in a bad way, but in a way where, you know, you're just not convinced of, you know, what's posted on social media, of what people tell you. If you feel in your gut it's wrong, in which you honestly already are gifted with, from your blueprint, from your soul purpose, you just say, hey, no, that doesn't seem right. You speak your truth always, even if people don't like to hear it. But especially in this life, you were a force to be reckoned with. You know, your friends cheered you on, your enemies feared you. And above all, again, the enemies you had, they feared you because they knew you were going to take down their corruption. And you were so angry because they thought they could use, you know, power, influence, even religion to dissuade people. It made you very angry, and you were very passionate about what you did. You may have been very well toned too. I mean, if you worked on a farm or worked through labor, you had a good body, okay? But anyways, all right. So key number 1, let's go ahead and wrap this up. And with these cards, I'm going to see if there's any debt, karmic debt, that may still carry on from this lifetime that is still affecting your life right now. Maybe some unfulfilled things you couldn't have done, maybe in relationships. Let's see. Anything else we need to know about key number 1's life? This one's ringing to me. Yeah, woo, Aquarius, I know. So, Aquarius energy, you may have reincarnated this lifetime with Aquarius energy in your chart. Doesn't have to be, but I feel that, yeah, you did accomplish a lot. But with this, I'm almost intuitive feeling like now it's time to make yourself public with it. Like, definitely during this past life, you had to be cloak and dagger. You couldn't even share your real name, I feel, for a lot of you. You know, you were that just... that fable type of thing that people still, you probably even write about. I would, again, I'm curious to see if I could look up Wikipedia and see if I find anyone of this nature, any stories or legends that kind of connotate to the story I kind of picked up on for this reading. But with this Aquarius energy, I know it's like this lifetime, you know, put your face, put your name to your beliefs and put it on a grander scale to influence everyone. I almost feel like a lot of you, your purpose is to have some sort of social media or some sort of platform, YouTube channel, writing, publication, to share your knowledge, to share your wisdom, to share your truth, because you're carrying light codes from, again, what I said with the Hermit card, from multiple incarnations, and every time you just got smarter, wiser, more led to the truth of spirit and how you can uplift humanity with it. That is what you are meant to do in this lifetime, is to share this truth, share these light codes that are already ingrained into you, and to make it accessible to everyone. You are meant to have influence in this lifetime. You are meant to progress humanity in this lifetime, and that could be on a huge scale, or that could even be through your friends, your family members, your community. But you're still carrying on this karmic debt, or even leading you to your dharma unfoldment of progressing humanity. Maybe some of you are, have protested against certain regimes that have gone on. You are outspoken with political agendas, with, conspiracy theories or whatever. You are someone that wants to share the truth. And you should. This is what Spirit's urging you to do in this lifetime, from what you've already experienced in a very, exciting past life. So, key number 1, thank you so much for joining me here. I really hope that this has resonated with you in some way and has given you clarity, insight, healing, and guidance in regards to a past life and what you may be experiencing in this lifetime now. If you enjoyed this reading, please let me know. Drop a comment below, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if some of you are curious, I am doing a monthly giveaway where I select one lucky subscriber to win a box full of goodies that I put together for that specific winner. To see more about this giveaway or what you can do to enter your chance to win this box, open up the description box, scroll down a little bit, and you'll find the rules of entry there, in case you're interested. I love you very much, and I'll see you next time. Take care, key number 1. Hello to those of you who selected key number 2. Welcome to your reading. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. I will place your key right here on the altar so its presence could be enhanced, your energy could be stabilized in this. Let's go ahead and pull the first card of this reading. And with this card, I'm going to ask what your soul purpose is. And this is basically the blueprint that you have ingrained in your soul that will always carry on through every incarnation. And with this reading, we'll see generally what your soul purpose is, but with these cards kind of correlate if you were able to fulfill that purpose. Were you able to, be called and guided and implement your soul purpose, or were you not so successful in doing that? And would that add to your karma that you have in this lifetime? But let's go ahead and get right to it and see what your soul purpose is here reincarnating on Earth. Let's see. Ooh. The cards are jumpy for you, key number 2. Let's see. What is key number 2's soul purpose as being a soul here on this Earth? Ooh, I like it. The Honorable Warrior Mars. So Aries energy, Scorpio energy coming through for here. Those signs can mean something to you in this incarnation. This could be signs that meant to you sometime in a past life, or even look at your South Node. I'm curious to see if there's Aries, Scorpio, or even Mars energy around your South Node. Let's go ahead and see. I take a stand for positive change. Brave, courageous, strong, passionate, bold, hardworking, territorial, athletic, competitive, decisive, heroic, loyal, disciplined, action-driven. So yeah, for some of you, you guys are always going to be the warriors, the spiritual warriors, the people who will fight for your beliefs, who will fight for what is right, who will always have a courageous, brave heart, who stands out in the way that you just have this presence of power, of strength, and it doesn't mean you have to be the strongest person physically, but it's just your energy. When you walk into a room, it's like you command attention. Eyes are automatically driven towards you, and you've carried this power through every incarnation. You are someone who could be competitive. You are someone who likes a good fight, and again, it doesn't mean you debate. It doesn't mean you like to read people to filth, although that's something you could like. But more so, you're not afraid of doing what's right. Even if it does sacrifice some of your people's opinions about you, you will still fight for what you feel you need to fight for. And I feel for others of you too, it's like you do stick up for the underdogs, or you find yourself to be an underdog, the black sheep of your family, of your community, of society. But you fight it still. You make it known. You're proud to be who you are, and you're proud of your beliefs. You're proud of your experiences. I do feel you're an advocate. I do feel you're someone that doesn't back down. And again, in this past life that I'm picking up on, you could have been a warrior. You could have been a hero or a heroine, whatever label you'd like to put it to. But I do feel that you'll always have this fighting heart. You'll always have this strength. You'll always have this spiritual courage that is not common, is what I'm hearing. Especially in this day of age, with social media, with so many trends that people just want to get famous for. You're not the type of person to want to do anything for a trend. You do it because you want to. Simple as that. So, wow. Your heart chakra is very powerful too. I do feel you guys get your strength from your heart. You make choices with your heart. You could be a bit impulsive too. But I do feel with all the impulsivity, you do it because in the moment you're passionate for it. Very passionate. So let's go ahead and see the background of this past life, what you were kind of set up with. And see if it kind of opens any more keyholes into this honorable warrior energy that's coming through for you guys. So, tell me about key number 2. Male, female. Interesting. So, what I feel with this card here is that some of you did not conform to the gender specifics of what your society conformed to you. So, let's just say, you know, if you were female, you were kind of like that Joan of Arc. You still wanted to fight with the rest. You still kind of stood your ground. You still wanted to, you weren't confined by a gender specific role. And maybe you still even feel this way in this current incarnation. If you were male, you know, you were very much like the voice of the divine feminine. You know, you were like a priest, a shaman, a healer, someone who may have been into fashion even, I kind of get, very fashionable. But just in general, with this male, female, and with the honorable warrior especially, you just did what you wanted to do. And I feel there was pressure on you to be a certain way, to conform into a certain society that you struggled a lot with. You felt offbeat, you felt eccentric. And I feel for some of you, there maybe was a fight internally to overcome this yearning for something more that society didn't give you a choice in. Wow. Okay, let's keep going. Tell me more, Spirit. Spirituality and religion. Okay, so yeah, wherever this was in the time period, it definitely was heavily influenced by religion. You know, you were maybe someone who fought in the name of a religion, in the name of a spiritual belief, or maybe even if there were people that tried to come and conform your country, your tribe, your community's religion, you fought against that, right? We'll pull some more cards to kind of get deeper into it. But, oh my goodness, key number 2, you were definitely in a very restricted society. And that was very much making you try to be someone you were not. And that's why you were like the black sheep. That's why, you know, people fought and tried to ostracize you for not just conforming to the norm. And so pile or key number 1 did have like similar energy in a way where they, you know, found themselves in similar types of situations, but yours was a lot more brutal. This was do or die type of thing. And maybe even some of you were forced to fight for the name of a religion you didn't fully believe in. But it was either you're on this or you will get killed. You will get assassinated. You will get, publicly burned or whatever. So, wow. I do feel for a lot of you with this honorable warrior, it's almost as if, there was a different country, a different group of people that try to come into your country, try to come into your society and just completely conform and take it over. They tried to, assign you, assimilate you, and you struggled a lot with that. I feel it. Wow, okay. Let's get one more card. Another card to help me see the background of key number 2. Lessons and blessings. So yeah, I do pick up on this lifetime being very karmic. I do feel that there were a lot of lessons you had to undergo that I feel because you went through in that past lifetime. You may have like a certain trine in your natal chart, or you may have certain Jupiter aspects, strong Jupiter energy, to where the sacrifices you made in this lifetime, it's like some part of your spirit is just remembering that trauma of conforming, assimilating, seeing people in your community getting killed for someone else's idea of the world. It's like now in this lifetime, you're like, I'll never be like that again. And I wonder if, like, for some of you, you have this need to stand out, need to go against the grain, need to fight for what's right. And maybe this is confirming why. I feel within this lifetime, you felt really ashamed or guilty of you really having no other choice. But that's not going to be it in your lifetime. But I see how much this lifetime affected maybe what you're going through in this lifetime, or what sort of ideas you have this lifetime. Because this one, I really do feel you wanted to fight. You may have tried to fight, but because of your fight, you lost a lot. Or it's like they scared you so much that you had no choice. Wow. With lessons and blessings too, with this card that I see with the clock here, these lessons and whatever you experienced in the lifetime I'm picking up now, it's going to be a part of your soul print for every incarnation. So again, I think that whatever this was has made you that fighting spirit today. And again, it's not just picking fights. But the second you feel your boundaries are being infringed on, the second you feel someone's trying to make you be someone you're not or pressure you to do so, you just don't take it. You fight against it. You fight back. You're not going to be, a meritor. You're not going to be someone that just agrees to please people, which you kind of did in this lifetime. But really, honestly, I'm not saying you gave up. You really didn't have a choice. I even feel this like horrible situation that just really made it clear to you that you had to do it. I even feel with male and female and spirituality and religion, you were like forced to marry someone you didn't want to marry. Wow. All right, so let's keep going into this. Excuse me. Woo! Throat chakra. You couldn't speak your truth. You couldn't be honest. You had to pretend every single day that you were happy with the circumstances that were quote unquote given to you that weren't. Almost if for some of you, like you were prominent before whoever came in with this dogmatic, strict regime to enforce onto you and the people who you were part of the community of. You were like a warrior. You were maybe somewhat of a hierarchy, right? But when they came, it was taken. And because of your name within that community, someone of their nobility wanted to marry you. Wow, okay. So let's see with these cards what your gift was in this lifetime. What did you have working for you? Okay, loud and clear. Best possible decision. Yeah, so again, I just feel even there's a part of your soul that always second guesses yourself, even though you feel the need to fight, you feel the need to still be who you are. There's still that little voice that like wonders if you'll regret a certain choice you make, or, you know, have made in the past, or that, you know, are you doing everything right? But this is going from this lifetime where you were forced to, again, conform, forced to have your whole culture, religion taken from you and be replaced with something you weren't happy with, but with this best possible decision. Again, for those of you too that still maybe have this imprint of second guessing yourself, it's from this certain situation, especially with the lessons and blessings. And I think Spirit's saying that, you know, with what you were given, with the choice you had to make, you did make the best choice for yourself and for your survival. And it says, Artemis, goddess of the bow, help me see what must be known. Ooh. So Artemis, Diana, that goddess energy was always around you. Maybe you still work with Artemis in this lifetime. This, you know, just because it's Artemis, this could be early Greek, Roman time period. That doesn't mean you're of Greek or Roman ethnicity or culture, but that time era, maybe, you know, you were forced by those cultures to assimilate or whatever, right? Just something for someone out there if you've ever thought of that. So, you know, I just feel you had confliction about, you know, did I really do what's best? And Spirit is saying, as hard as it was, you did. And I think you did it, especially if you were like, had to forcibly get married and have kids. You know, you did it everything for your own survival and maybe for the survival of your children as well. I do feel even too that, like, if you did have children, which I'm picking up on a lot of you did, you still taught your children in secret, like, your culture, your spirituality. Even if, like, to the public you had to put on a different face, you still, with your children specifically, showed them what their true culture was. But with best possible decision, again, it was a huge conflict that haunted you for this whole lifetime. Yours was not an easy life, not at all. But you always did what was best for you, and not in a selfish way, but again in a way where you, even if you had to just conform for a little bit, you did it for your family, you did it for your people, so you could still have influence in it, so you could still let them know, yeah, this sucks, we're in this horrible situation, but at least we're in it together. But also, you know, I'm an intuitive reader, I don't just read the words on the card, but, you know, and again, you just did not have a choice. And you had to make that decision to just do it all. Wow. So let's go ahead and see with the tarot card. The events or general things that happened at the beginning of your life, middle of your life, and maybe what happened at the end of your life, how you kind of moved forward and moved on. Maybe you had enough towards the end and you did that last battle, that last fight. But let's see. Kind of feeling for a lot of you, I'm picking up, like, You fought the last battle and you saw so many of like your people die. And like you were in that battle that was just lost. And I feel that for some of you, if you're really afraid of like, you don't like the sight of blood, you don't like gore, you know, during like dissection movies in school, you kind of had to look away. I do feel it's because you did see a lot of death. You did see a lot of people die in horrible, horrible ways. And, you know, if that is something that resonates with you, that's absolutely why. And it was a hard battle. It was not a great one. Okay, so let's see. Tell me about the beginning of key number 2's life. The waiting game. Interesting. 2 of Wands, Aries energy. Not surprised to see Aries here. May mean something to you, doesn't have to. But yeah, I just feel, okay, so at the beginning of this life, this past life I'm picking up on, I feel your community, country, whatever, knew that you were going to get attacked, or that you knew that like surrounding regions, surrounding populations, they were starting to get conquered, they were starting to get taken over, and your community, country, whatever, knew that it was just a matter of time, but you were going to prepare regardless. You were going to prepare, see what you had working for you. I do feel you were the one to like train people in fighting, or train them in strategy, seeing how you could be the person that helps try to win this impeding battle that you knew was coming. It was like this, whatever it was, this society that had their eye on you was a very powerful, conquering one that, you know, saw a lot of empires fall because of this person, or this, this group of people, right? And you guys knew you were next, type of thing. So I do feel you led like the inspiration of, hey guys, you know, this may be coming, but we'll fight. You did have a fighting heart. Again, that was part of your blueprint. And for growing up, I feel, you know, you had this gut feeling of one day these people are going to come. These people are going to take from us. These people are going to steal from us. We just have to prepare. We just have to fight. And when it's ready, I'll be there. Again, I wonder if you were like a general, or if you were someone that, again, in that community before this empire took over, or whatever it was, you were prominent, you were noble, you were well known. You did fight many battles, or your ancestors did, and you were part of the plans of how to secure this. Let's keep going. What happened in the middle of the life of this key number 2? Oof. Firm foundation. Yeah, 4 of Pentacles, Capricorn energy. Yeah, so then structure had to happen, right? I think that you had to work with what you were given, which again wasn't by choice. The whole new agenda, the whole new order was pronounced, and a lot was taken from you. And I think, you know, with the 4 of Pentacles here, that energy, once you saw all that was lost, like family members, friends, you know, lovers fall, I just feel you were like one of the surviving few from it all. And this is when you had to start conforming. This is when, it, you know, the middle of your life, so, you know, like early 20s, 30s, 40s, you were just forced. You were just had to comply. You had to stick with this, but you weren't happy about it. You weren't happy about it at all, but you couldn't say anything against it. You couldn't express anything against it. You held back a lot of anger, a lot of rage. But yeah, I think that you really just didn't have any other choice. And I don't know, you could have lived in like a mountainous region, a lot of mountains surrounding where you were, But you had to stay strong, and you did stay strong. There were times you just thought it would just be better to just say, F it, I'm out. Whether that was running away or whatever means. But I think from the surviving few, you included, but others around you, they still saw you as that pillar of strength. You never had your honor or pride taken from you, but you definitely struggled with that sort of duality of still deep down maintaining your original culture's beliefs, religion, spirituality, whatever, but yet knew you could never fully express it. It wasn't, yeah. Let's see what happened towards the end of your life. Shadow. The moon card. Wow. So yeah, again, this lifetime, this life you lived, it was one that you've learned a lot from. And that's why the lessons and blessings are here. But I even think, like, for some of you, there are moments where, I wouldn't say it's like an anger problem at all, but I'd say like there's just this instinctual, impulsive reaction to things. And I think part of that comes from a suppression that you went through. And towards the end of your life, I don't think, with the shadow, there's a lot you regretted. There's a lot you wish you did more of, that you could have done differently. And even with this, you know, in the image, it's like this man holding a scepter. I almost feel like you had to marry, again, a noble person from their end that then just controlled you. And maybe for some of you, there's this issue or always this confliction with control, a theme of control, someone trying to control you, someone trying to tell you what to do, that you may still struggle with within this lifetime, or that you've always had an issue with, and it's from this one. But with the moon, again, some of you may have come from a society that would practice magic. And I feel like a lot of you still, even if you had, again, to wake up to go to church or whatever the religion was that took you over, right? You still practiced like your magic at the like middle of the night, sneaking out, still holding your traditions in the dark. You did get away with it too. Like no one really caught you. But you weren't able to do your rituals fully. You weren't able to practice your magic fully the way you used to at the beginning of your life. And a lot of you still have that magic, you know, to this day. Maybe you practice magic, you've always been curious about magic. This doesn't feel like black magic at all. But even with the honorable warrior and the shadow coming here, like there was, towards the end of your life, your want and need for like revenge that I'm really picking up on, that you fought yourself kind of going back and forth with. I don't know if you ever really were able to take up on that revenge. We'll see with these tea leaf cards. But I just get this, like, I'm going to get you back one way or another. And even for some of you too, you may have experienced a karmic relationship this lifetime, a very heavy, toxic karmic relationship from unresolved karma from this life that I'm picking up on now. Those of you, you'll know who this person is. Controlling, needing to tell you what to do, fought with you, didn't ever make you feel like you could be yourself. That's this person. And maybe they just came back in this lifetime so you could finally close the deal on them, so they hopefully don't come back next time around. Interesting. All right, so let's see with the tea leaf, certain events, certain situations that occurred in this lifetime. Let's kind of dig deeper into this. I'm curious, like, about this practice you did in the middle of the night, about maybe certain things that did happen that made you further felt like you had to conform. Let's see. Okay. So we have woman, So again, you could have been a woman in this past life. Does not have to be. A woman could have been influential. Maybe the noble you had to marry was a woman. I don't know. It says dealings or relationships with a woman. I really do feel that with whatever society you were in before it was conformed, it was very like divine feminine based. Practice the divine feminine. Honored the feminine. And maybe that's why this male-female thing came up. Maybe like a certain patriarchy came up into it that challenged the feminine. Took the power of the divine feminine away, right? Then we have hammock. Taking a vacation physically or mentally. Yeah, so I feel with you guys during this lifetime, by no means was anything a vacation. What I feel intuitively with this was that you just had to go to a certain place where you know, whether this was something you knew from the beginning of your life. I do feel you were like, not only were you forced to conform, assimilate, but you were also, you stayed within the same land, the same country. So you knew the land very, very well, but it was under a different name, right? They changed everything about it. But you, during the times you felt like you were going to break, felt like you were going to break character, I do feel there was a certain sanctuary you found to recharge, to relax, to meditate, to practice your magic, to pray, whatever it was. I do feel that you did this alone. So, you know, you just had this secret side to yourself that you had to keep hidden, but you still honored, you still held a place for. Or even like if this person had to go on vacation or something, you were thankful for that. Thank goodness. Had to go off to war, had to do something else, like with a marriage, a toxic marriage. I think those were the times you were able to be more free with who you are. Wow. Even with this woman energy too, I am picking up that physically you were very beautiful, you were very handsome, and maybe that's why even you were forced into a marriage as well, because of your name, but also because your physicality, your beauty, your handsomeness, whatever, your good looks were something that people sought out to win. Yeah. Let's go ahead and get 2 more cards to see other events that may have happened in this life. But even with the hammock in this life, like you may feel the need to, you know, separate yourself, to like turn off social media, mute the phone a little bit, and to just be alone, to recharge alone, take a bath, to go to that picnic bench at the park, to go to that hiking trail and sit at that same place you sit at, you know, that type of energy. And it comes from this experience you had during this lifetime. Just keep going. Okay, yeah, fair woman. Interesting how much feminine energy is coming up in this reading. So even for some of you, I gotta say, like, your sexuality, you know, you couldn't be free in. You had to, you know, not express your true sexuality. You had to hide your sexuality. Just coming through very strongly here for some of you. But it says dealings or relationships with a woman, blonde, gray, or white hair. Interesting. Just putting it out there with fair woman. That could have been you. That could have been the people that came in that had to assimilate, take away. I feel this actually, whoever this is, it could be as verbatim as the card says or not, had a jealousy towards you in major life very, very hard. Because of the jealousy of you still, they had a gut feeling that you never really assimilated, you never really changed, it was all an act. They never were really able to prove it. But this person, I feel, a fair woman, whatever, was always out to get you, was always trying to embarrass you or shame you. That type of energy here. But this could also just reconfirm for me, you know, the meaning fair, the definition of fair, not so much of complexion or looks, but as far as, you were very attractive. And maybe that's why you had a lot of haters too. You didn't look like the rest of their whatever people, and you still had this beauty that kind of challenged their ideals. Just for some people, not everyone, right? And then we have gavel, involvement with the law. Again, a lot of these things, you know, certain laws were placed. You had to abide by the law. The law was cruel. It wasn't fair. It wasn't just. It wasn't right. And maybe even, you know, you had a lot of issues with people of authority. And to this day, you kind of have this resentment of people who are in power, privilege, authority. But again, this tells me that you were legally forced or obligated to take on this life that you weren't happy with. Wow. Especially in marriage. Especially. So, let's go ahead and see what debt you may still have. I don't feel you were able to be the person you wanted to be in this lifetime. And I don't know if this was last incarnation, a few incarnations ago, whenever. But it just feels like you always had this conflict within yourself to want to fight, to want to push. But again, if you were to, they would have publicly killed you, would have humiliated you through death, would have, you know, killed your children type of thing. Like, I'm not trying to get that dark and deep, but it really is a very, you know, sorry, I was like, it was a very hard life for you. And I think, let's see what the debt is to have this lifetime. I hope it's to fulfill and to be that power, to be that strength, to never be held down like that again, to be forced into conformity again, and to have that ability to fight for what you believe in. Let's see. Oof. Okay, you guys got 2 cards for key number 2, not surprising. So we have Solar Eclipse Revolution number 44. Power. Again, you guys have powerful energy. Even the people who tried to conform you, they sensed it. And that's why they were especially after you, right? Especially jealous people. And then lunar eclipse change. Whoa. Whoa. Eclipse seasons are very, very impactful for you. Always will be. Look out for eclipses during all years of your life. See where it's happening around it, the astrological signs around it. I feel the eclipses just impact you guys especially hard. But yeah, you know what? Key number 2, you're never going to go through that again. Whatever that was, that pain, that humiliation, that need to conform, change, that is not in your plan. That's not what Spirit wants for your any future life that you're going through. And you are the person that initiates, or should or will initiate that change. Spark a revolution. Make your opinions heard. Fight for what's right. No matter if it's in the majority or not, you need to know this, that this is part of your plan. This is part of your blueprint in this incarnation. To not conform. To not just bow down and do, you know, stay silent and do the work. If you're unhappy in a job, if you're unhappy in a relationship, you can make that change. Spirit, once you say it, I want to change my life. I want to outgrow this. I want to get away from this. I want to move towards this. Spirit will open the path for you. And you will just push it through. Spirit will give you the strength, will give you the courage that you already have, the resources to make these changes happen. But Spirit is saying, you know, you paid some karma in that lifetime. And because of it, I am allowing you to, whatever it is you want to evolve out of, to change, to progress in, I have your back, Spirit says. With these powerful, especially around eclipse seasons, I'd mark it on your calendar. Because I think there is strong impact there. And you are meant to have an impact. To go against the grain. Truly. So, powerful reading for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me here. I really hope that this has resonated with you in some way, has given you clarity, insight, healing, and guidance in regards to a past life and to what you may be experiencing in this lifetime from a past life. If it did, please let me know. Drop a comment below, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. In case you guys are very interested, I am doing a giveaway every month where I select one lucky subscriber to win a box full of goodies that I put together for that specific person that I decide. So if you're interested in entering this giveaway, what will be in that box and anything else you're curious about, open up the description box, scroll down a little bit, and you'll find the rules of entry there in case you're interested. I love you very much, and I'll see you next time. Take care, key number 2. Hello to those of you who have selected key number 3. Welcome to your reading. So I'm going to go ahead and put this key right here on the altar to ground and enhance the energy. Hopefully your energy will come through all the more stronger. Let's go ahead and get this reading started. So first I'm going to pull a soul purpose card. And with this card, it's going to tell me what your soul purpose is, whether it's from this past life, your current life, future incarnations. It's the part of your soul that will always be there, that will always have that purpose, always have that energy. And let's see if you were able to fulfill that purpose within this lifetime, which we'll see with the other cards. Or if you were not able to fulfill that purpose, let's see what the purpose of your soul is from its creation. Tell me about key number 3, soul purpose, spirit. Oop, that one came out very strongly. Let's see. Celebrity, the sun. Okay, well, you guys are meant to be very well known. You guys have attention, attraction, manifestation that naturally comes to you. People just see you and want to get to know you. You have talent. You have gifts to share to the world. You have this energy that will always carry with you of being well known. Whether again that's on a global type of platform, smaller type, you're the person everyone talks about, everyone has something to say about. You are on the topic of a lot of people's conversations. You just bring out this energy of magnetism, charm. Again, a lot of you could be extroverts, doesn't have to be the case, but you just catch the attention of everyone. You put on a show, you like to involve yourself into group community type of activism in projects, but my goodness, you're always someone that leaves a mark. Always. So let's see what this has to say. Charismatic, imaginative, luminous, confident, authentic, inspiring, passionate, magnetic, impactful, public, fashionable, independent, noble, generous, unique. You bring this light in people's lives, and that's why people know you very, very well. And this doesn't mean you have to be the most popular person anywhere you go, but you just definitely leave this mark, this impression, even if it's just interaction at the grocery store with the cashier, or even if it's just your involvement in everyone's lives around you, you leave a mark wherever you go. And that's part of your soul's purpose. And it's not to gain notoriety, fame. That's not the only purpose of it. But I do feel that spirit created you so you can use this charm, this magnetism, this attraction that you have to make something happen in this world for progression, for enhancement. But it feels very much like you bring a lot of love and light and enjoyment to people's lives. I'm just getting, for someone out there, you're really hilarious. You're really funny. You know how to make everyone laugh. I feel you're that type of person where if you see someone who's, you just sense that there's something wrong, you kind of talk to them, make them feel better, bring them back into the group. You're just a joy to be around. And that's your soul purpose and always will be. Wow. Impactful. Let's go ahead and see what your past life was like. We're going to get some certain themes to see the background of it all, to kind of get more into this. I wonder if you're nobility. If I'm just curious with this celebrity energy that your soul has. Interesting. With every incarnation, I feel you're meant to make an impact or a mark in a profound way. You could have been famous in a past life. Wow, okay, so let's see. Tell me more, Spirit. All right, unrequited love. So it's almost as if I'm kind of getting, you were someone who didn't settle for someone just because of nobility, just because of rank. If you weren't feeling it, you weren't feeling it. And honestly, I do feel you broke a few hearts. There could have been a situation perhaps where the one person you wanted didn't love you back. I don't really feel that for most of you. But I do feel for some of you, this is a soulmate that's kind of coming through, where you guys had to constantly chase each other through many lifetimes. And this is one of them. I do feel, though, you know, I'm an intuitive reader, it doesn't have to resonate, but I kind of feel that you were someone that had to turn people down quite a bit. And maybe it was due to certain career things that you wanted to accomplish that you couldn't have with this person. But I do feel that there was also like forbidden love type of thing going on, whether there was like a class differentiation. You know, unfortunately the world was very different than it is now, where you couldn't marry people because of certain class associations, and that could have been one of the reasons. Especially I feel for this pile, definitely, that there could have been, you were someone of nobility, of standard, and like almost as if someone that was quote unquote lower fell in love with you. You may have fell in love with them but knew it could never work. I don't know. Let's keep going. Tell me more. Okay. Spouse. Ooh. Oh wow. Okay. This is a third-party situation that went on in a past life that is somehow playing in this current life, or something you need to know about and pertaining to your current life. Wow. Yeah, I just feel with this spouse, you had to marry someone, whether it was for notorious game, for fame, for politics, but you didn't really love them as much as you loved someone else that you just couldn't be with. Whoa. Okay, let's keep going. Tell me more, Spirit. Interesting that all the, you know, with all out of all the piles, this is definitely the most relationship one, and it's coming with the heart key. But tell me more, Spirit. Ooh, love life. Okay, wow. So clearly with this pile, with this key, let's just say, you guys had a very crazy love life here, and I just really feel the reason why this specific past life is coming through. I do feel with this key selection, you guys do have a twin flame or a soulmate that you're meant to be with. And it's like, again, you guys were chasing each other through many different lifetimes. This one was very, very prominent. I do feel that in this lifetime, it may kind of explain why you're going through a chase right now, perhaps. But you had a lot of admirers, probably because of your celebrity status, but more so your personality. You know, you were very attractive inside and out. You may have been like a movie star, I'm picking up on, a singer, a performer. It could have been a politician as well. So, you know, you were in this time, it feels almost like early 1900s, maybe mid 1900s, like 1950s, 60s. Maybe this was like recently your past life for some of you. But you had this unrequited love, or this forbidden love, that I think is going to give you a lot of clarity for what you're going on in your love life now. I almost wonder even if there was a betrayal here of, because of this unrequited love, you had to be with your spouse, the person you married that you truly weren't happy with. Something happened where it was a betrayal, it was a downfall because of a lover specifically. Whew. Okay. Well, let's keep going. I want to know more. Let's see what your gifts were in this lifetime. Wow. Tell me about this. And with this spouse card here, like, I don't feel this was like authentic love, true love. Again, you had to marry them for, I don't know, like if you guys were like, I'm hearing Hollywood even, it could be something similar to wherever country you were in. It doesn't have to be America or California per se, but it's like you married them because it would have made a good image, it would have made a good story, you guys would have been in the public eye. But I really do feel it was with this person that you loved more so, that wasn't as famous, that didn't have as much going, you know, financially for them, but you loved them, but you couldn't return that love. Wow. Okay. What gifts did you have in this lifetime? That you used, that was beneficial? Okay, ooh. Authenticity and strength. Wow. Okay, so number 10 and number 34, those numbers can mean something to you. And let's go ahead and read. So, with authenticity, it says, who I truly am is good indeed. I am authentic in thought, word, and deed. And then strength. Strength, stability in this hour, endurance, stamina, I empower. So yeah, you have a strong presence. You have it. You know, that je ne sais quoi, that magic where someone could just read a line, you know, give a performance, give a speech. You could say all the right words, but there's a certain presence, a certain aura, a certain star-like quality that no one had quite like you. And that was your gift, was that you knew your strengths, you knew what you could work, you read out a room, you read out the energy, and you displayed what you had to display in order to get to the top. People knew your name, and it wasn't, you know, pile number one, it was kind of similar, but pile number one, they couldn't really, you know, gain the notoriety through, you know, their true name. They kind of had to go undercover. You guys, they knew your birth name, your story, your, you know, you had super fans. You had people who would scream saying you, asking you for your autograph. I'm picking up on that energy here. So with authenticity, yeah, there was just something unique about you. Unique about what you gave specifically into your career, into the world, that was unlike anyone else. You know, again, if there was like a certain talent of acting, let's just say for an example, you put on a performance that brought tears to people's eyes or made people laugh. You just had this specific, unique impact that has left a mark. I'm sure it's a celebrity that passed a long time ago that this is who I'm talking about as far as your past life, right? And strength too, you know, with the amount of fame you got in this past life, you had a lot of rejections perhaps. No, you're not fit for the role, you're not fit for this, no thank you, but you still kept up and kept going and kept fighting, believing in what you have, believing you're good enough, believing that you can make it big. You know, I'm seeing this person with stars in their eyes that had big dreams, big goals, and didn't stop until they achieved them. But with that light you protruded, that magnetism, you caught a lot of attention. A lot of attention. Wow, yeah. I almost feel like you had stalkers. You had stalkers, you had people that tried to, you know, any way they could get into your life, get to know who you are. A lot of people sought out for you, and I think you played the strategy in love life. I think you wanted to have it all. You wanted to have the power and prestige, the money, the wealth, the fame, but you also wanted a lover on the side. I don't know how that played out for you though. I just get this feeling, I keep on getting drawn back to this like unrequited love. I don't know, maybe you were the third side. You know, you had to be the lover to someone that was already married who wasn't happy in their marriage. But they were truly in love with you, but they just couldn't be with you for whatever means. They weren't ready to leave a marriage to be with you. But wow, you know, you won awards, definitely, for your skill, for your talent. I'm hearing you went down in history type of thing. Again, wherever this, you were famous, wherever you were from, wherever you were in this past life. And you fought hard for your success. You fought hard for your fame. Wow. Okay. So let's go ahead and see the events. Let's see. It's from beginning, mid, and end using the tarot. Let's see like kind of what happened generally to get more into this exciting life. Okay. We have the Hanged Man from early life, midlife. Let's see. Woohoo, the Star card. Again, not surprised. 2 major arcanas, may I say. And then end of the life. Ooh, Truth. Okay, so let's get into this. Beginning of your life. From childhood to like early 20s, we have the Hanged Man sacrifice. So, yeah, I really do feel that you were kind of someone that put a lot on the line, that had to give in to certain things in order to make it big. I don't know, I feel for my pile 3s, you wanted to achieve your dreams at all costs. And that may have sacrificed, you know, true love. It could have sacrificed, you know, having a domestic home, a domestic life where you had to settle down, get married. I think that also with this Hanged Man here, you could have had, you know, in early part of your life, you could have been involved in criminal activity, or you were someone that was arrested for something. A little bit, I don't know why I'm picking up on this, but kind of like a party animal. Someone who was invited to a lot of parties, but you had to kind of take that back aside or to reel that in order to make it big. I kind of almost see like rehabilitation in the beginning of your life. But I also feel for others of you too, like, especially if you were someone that was working in the industry of fame, fashion, music, movies, whatever, there was a part of you may have had to sacrifice in order to make it that big. Maybe you had to do certain things that you weren't necessarily proud of, that wasn't authentic to you, but in order to make it big, you just did it. I feel like it's, you know, for some of you, it's as if you had to cut out certain relationships. Maybe, you know, break away from family, break away from friends, in order to achieve this level of success. I feel a lot of you moved away from your hometown to move to a different city, a bigger city, to make it happen. But, you know, I do feel, especially in love, you had to sacrifice the things you really, the people you really wanted to be with in order to have this level of success. And can I just say, in the middle of your life, you had it, the Star card. Need I say more? You were a star, baby. Okay. You know, again, I read intuitively. It could also mean that there was a buildup of hope. Again, with the sacrifice, Hanged Man, you may have faced a lot of rejection in the beginning of your life. People didn't believe in you. People didn't think you had it. You had what it takes, whatever. I even feel like you had to undergo like a huge physical transformation in order to make it big. For someone, I don't know. But with this in the middle of your life, the Star card, people started to believe in you. People saw that you had that it quality that magic that you brought to whatever it is you did that made you famous. If you were a politician, you did give a lot of people hope. You did, I don't know, you like so many people were inspired by you. And this is when you won those awards. This is when you got that recognition. When you were signing those autographs, taking those pictures, being on the covers of those magazines, it does feel like this is a very recent past life. This is when you made it. This is the peak of your career, most definitely. And I do feel too, at the beginning of your life, this is when you had to sacrifice that person you did love, truly. You realized you couldn't be with them. And I think that always was a heartbreak within you, or that was something you always felt that haunted you in some way. And you only married the other person, again, because it was a good match, it was great for publicity, but it wasn't the person you truly loved. Then we got truth, judgment, at the end of your life. Interesting. This is fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. We also have Pisces, Aquarius energy here very strongly as well. I'd look at your South Node. I'd look at, you know, any energies around that in your natal chart to see if that resonates. But towards the end of your life, there was a hard-hitting wake-up call that you realized that gave you a kind of shook you. And for some of you, this involved law, or this involved like how people saw you. And again, I wonder if there was a betrayal here, out of jealousy, out of not being able to be with you, out of revenge or something. Someone looked to move against you. But others of you, I just feel like towards the end of your life, you really saw that maybe as you worked so hard for the fame, the money, the fortune, the renown, did it truly make you happy? Was that really where you were meant to go? And did you use your fame for the good of what your purpose was, which was to uplift, to heal? I wonder if some of you kind of wish you did things differently. If you were to do them again, would you do it by more of who you authentically are? And again, you always will have this uniqueness. You'll always leave an impact. That's part of your soul print. But in what way can I bring positivity, not just to myself and my own fame, but to everyone? How can I share that? And maybe even others of you towards the end of your life, mid to end of your life, you looked more into doing humanitarian things because probably you were focused on yourself, how to get there. And then once you had it all, maybe you kind of reflect, I could have done more, or you tried to do more. But I don't know. For some of you, I feel you were betrayed in some way. And that some sort of truth came out, maybe infidelity came out, maybe scandal came out, and that's when it kind of led to the downfall of it all. Interesting. All right. So with these tea leaf cards, I'm going to see any major themes that happened in this life. Let's see. Tell me about this. Okay. Fan, romance, celebration, and party. Yeah, you were invited to many events. You were the belles and dons of the balls. A lot of people asked you to dance. A lot of people invited you to these things. You had a fun life. A very, very fun life. And again, partying definitely was something in someone's past life. Okay? You were not bored at all. And you were very fashionable. You had the best fashions on. You could afford it, quite frankly. Let's keep going. Tell me more. I don't know why I'm seeing like a masquerade ball. Interesting. Tell me more, Spirit. Okay. Bag. Something important, such as a new job or a raise. Yeah, you were about the bag. You were. You were about getting the bag, withholding the bag, keeping stability, keeping good finances, keeping fortune. You were paid well. You were paid very, very well. But maybe you didn't have it so easy in the beginning of your life. It was almost like the Cinderella story type of thing. You definitely made some sort of impact in whatever career it was that you did, and it does feel, again, media related, movie, music, TV, but again, it's general, right? But you got the bag. That's for sure. Let's keep going. But I wonder too, and again, this isn't for everyone, you'll know if it's for you, but like, I think towards the end of your life, you saw like, you wanted so much more maybe than just the bag. Let's keep going. Oof. Caterpillar. Things will not always be this way. A change is coming. Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about, and this is what I was feeling from the very, very beginning. Towards the end of your life, something happened where everything kind of changed. It wasn't a party anymore. It wasn't, people weren't rooting you on anymore. I almost feel like you were exposed, whether that was the truth or someone even lied to get your name out there, and it could have like ruined the notoriety you worked for. Interesting. It could have been out of jealousy, and maybe even jealousy follows you in this lifetime as well because of your glow. It's undeniable. That's part of your soul. Tell me more. Ooh, okay. Ooh, yeah. So we have bear and pig. Interesting. Those animals may resonate with you guys in some way. Some of you could be born year of the pig in Chinese astrology perhaps, but it says danger, especially in money matters, and beware of greed. Whoa. Okay, yeah. So someone was out to get you. Someone didn't like your notoriety, didn't like your fame, and almost even for some of you with this truth and the spouse, maybe the unrequited love was not the person that betrayed you. Maybe they never would because they always loved you even if you didn't accept you. Maybe it was the spouse. That's what I feel for a lot of you. Your karmic, not your twin flame or the soulmate you were meant to be with. The karmic is what ended up screwing you over. Ended up divorcing you, a messy divorce, but not just that. They took everything. They were cutthroat. But for some of you, that was definitely the spouse. Other of you, it was someone who you were in competition with. Greed was the downfall here. Money was the downfall here. Whether that was from you, which I don't feel it was per se, but just being involved in that life, being involved with those people, it surrounded you by people you couldn't trust, that showed their claws, that showed their true colors, and took everything from you. Wow, yeah. Someone just wanted everything you had. Someone just sought to just destroy you and destroy your fame, destroy your name, destroy your reputation. And that's when everything changed. And that's when at the truth you kind of saw like what happens when you surround yourself with certain people that, you know, in certain industries, they don't care if you're a good person. They don't care if you had loyalty towards them. You know, they're about themselves and they cut and write their own checks. And I think that's kind of at the end of your life, you really saw how messed up it truly was. Or maybe when you got caught in the illusion of fame and fortune, what that really meant at the end of it all. Whew. Okay. I want some more cards actually. I'm going to pull some more just for my pile threes. I want to see just one more thing that could indicate to this. I feel there's something I left said. Chair empties. Someone is leaving your life. And then hat, you will be playing a different role. Wow. So I think, yeah, with the truth and someone leaving your life, honestly, for a lot of you, your spouse left you, took everything, and you really wish you went with the person that you truly loved in the first place. You had a lot of affairs. There's always just that one person, though, that you felt most drawn to, that you couldn't be with. And you saw what it meant when you sacrificed that. And I think that whoever the soulmate twin flame is, they're still a part of your incarnations. And I think that you are meant to be with that person. I think you've already met them. I think you do know them. I think you know who this person is that I'm talking about. And if it has been a struggle, if it has been a dance, it's because of all this that happened in this past life, this unresolved business. And I think you were meant to resolve it this lifetime. And it's coming through. Yeah, career was a huge thing in your life at this time. Fame, success, fortune. But with the 3 love cards that came out of that certain deck there, I think you really saw that if you weren't with the person that made you happiest, what did all that money, fame, and fortune actually mean? Especially when people were so quick to take it all from you. Wow. I'm hearing birthmark. I almost feel like a lot of you have like a certain beauty mark or birthmark that is always with you through every incarnation. Interesting. A very prominent birthmark. That's a confirmation for someone out there. So let's go ahead and wrap this reading up and see what purpose, or from what you experienced in this past life, what debt do you have this life to do, or what purpose or plan is part of this lifetime now because of what you experienced in this past life. What unfinished business needs to be resolved, what karma needs to be dealt with and healed. Let's see. Last card to wrap this reading up for my key number 3s. Okay, first house, the body. Interesting. So some of you could have a lot of first house energy in your natal birth chart. Doesn't have to be the case, but yeah, I think for a lot of you, it's doing what's right for you, not for the attention of others, the fame for others. Because again, you guys, the celebrity being your soul print, you're always going to leave that mark in some way in a lot of people's lives. You're always going to have impact. You're always going to have influence. But how can you make more choices that are for you, not for the notoriety and the respect and the love of others? Maybe some of you are kind of people pleasers in this lifetime, and you're looking to break that habit. I think that, again, there was a lot of sacrifice in the beginning of your past life that you thought you had to do in order to be happy, and it didn't make you happy. And the tables turned at the end of your life. So, you know, trusting the wrong people by going with certain people that you thought it was a better deal with, and it wasn't. I feel inclined to say to my pile 3s, like, act more for you, with your heart, with your true feelings, you know, and everything else will unfold. If there's been something you've been called to do, do it. If there's certain restrictions, make it happen. I think that you guys are meant to have impacts on others, sure. Have influence on others, be a part of so many people's inspiration, sure. But also do it for yourself too. Everything that you do, take yourself into consideration. And, you know, there's definitely a differentiation between ego and doing what's right for yourself. You know, pull back from any decision that comes from fear, comes from the need of lower vibrational energies. That's not meant for you. But I think Spirit's saying that during this life, you clearly are a manifester. I think you've even had those gifts from the celebrity energy that you carry within you. So how can you create this life in this incarnation with all the goals and dreams and ambitions that you can have, but something that also feels right with you? That you don't have to sacrifice, you don't have to conform, you don't have to, what's the word? Like submit to something that isn't truly something you feel right with. You're not supposed to just go for things in life that make you the quick dollar but are authentically you. Anything that presents itself near that energy in this lifetime you're living, you're meant to stay away from. You're not supposed to, you know, just be someone that just has no purpose other than being well known. You're more than that. And I think that with this incarnation here, you could put yourself on a pedestal and still be well liked, still do things for people, but more importantly, do it for yourself. That's kind of what's still here. And to also be careful of certain times where, you know, you may be getting a lot of attention, a lot of fame, you may be attracting certain people that aren't out for your best interest. And to watch out for that as well with this first body thing here. But man, you lived an exciting past life. And I'm sure with this incarnation, you're living an exciting life too. Excitement just follows you every incarnation. Attraction, attention, always does. So, pile number 3, thank you so much for joining me here for this reading. I really hope that I resonated with you, it has given you clarity, insight, healing, and guidance in regards to your current life or anything that has confirmed for you from a past life. If it did, please let me know. Drop a comment below, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. So, do you guys want to win a free customized gift box from me? I'm doing a giveaway where every month I select one lucky subscriber to win a customized gift box that I put together for that person. And if you're curious to see what's in this box, how you can enter your chance to win, open up the description box, scroll down a little bit, and you'll find the rules of entry there in case you're interested. I love you very much, and I'll see you next time. Take care, Key 3.